Hey guys, it's Sasha and welcome back to Reading with Toby. Today I am talking about the top 10 books of 2020. These were my favorite books that I have read so far this year and I'm really excited to talk about it. I have a good stack. I read a lot of really great books, but I'm sure if you have watched my videos, you probably already know my top like 3 books, so probably won't shock you, but the others might. Some of them I feel like I haven't talked about that much or in a while, so let's go ahead and get started. I think that I technically have 11 books because 2 books are in the same place. I couldn't figure out which one was better than the other, so I just put them tied, but we'll get to that when we get to it. All right, so coming in at number 10 is Wilder Girls by Rory Power. This is a YA horror novel and I just thought this was so excellent. I thought the writing was done really well, especially for a debut novel. I thought it was actually scary and gory and creepy, and I always think that stories about pandemics or some sort of illness going around, some sort of epidemic or pandemic, is always one of the scariest things. And I know that's weird to say considering that we're currently going through it, but I always thought it's one of the scariest things. So I really love this a lot. This book, you're following a group of girls at a boarding school and some of them decide to break quarantine to figure out what exactly is going on. It is really strange and I don't know. I thought it was excellent, and yeah, I'm really glad I read this. Definitely want to check out more of Rory Power's work. I know she had a new book that came out this year, so hopefully I can get to that one next year. So we have number 10. All right, so coming in at number 9 is actually another YA novel, but it is a nonfiction YA, and that is All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. So this is his memoir manifesto, and I really enjoyed this. This is basically his account of what it's like to be gay and black in America, and it is very raw and honest, and he's not afraid to tell things like it is and share his experience. But I felt that overall, oh, there's like some stuff on the back of it. But I feel like overall the tone of it was very positive and it gave a lot of advice to other teens out there who are in a similar experience. I learned a lot from this. I feel like any person could gain so much from reading this book and everyone should read it. I thought it was excellent. I read this at the height of the Black Lives Matter movement this year, so I think it was even more impactful and was even more special. But yes, I thought this was excellent, and I think every person should read this book and will definitely gain something out of it. So this is my number 9 pick. Okay, so some of these books I cannot find. I have no idea where they are. I'm basically living out of bins and suitcases, so some of the books are probably in storage. I don't know what happened to them, so I don't have a physical copy to hold up, but I'll put a picture here, so hopefully that won't bother you. Coming in at number 8, we have The Regrets by Amy Bonifants. I think that's how you say her last name. I read this at the beginning of the year and I really enjoyed it. It's really weird and out there, and I know a lot of people hate this book. I completely get it. Like, I get it if you don't like it. I don't know why I liked it so much. I think I really just like the messages of it. It's a lot about loneliness and like obsession and possession and finding yourself and like getting out of bad relationships and realizing that like where you are and what you have is good enough. I don't know. I think that's what I really enjoyed out of it. I mean, you're following a man who died and he's in limbo, and he's told not to make any connections with any humans, but he does anyway, and a human girl and him form a relationship, and yeah, it's like a lot. And the writing is very pretentious, but I don't know, I really liked it. I closed the book and I was just like, yeah, that was a 5-star read. But this one I like probably won't really talk about on my channel just because I know it's not for majority of people. And yeah, and I get it if you don't like it. So it's just one of those weird ones that I really liked and no one else probably liked it, so. All right, so coming in at number 7 is Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I really enjoyed this book. I wanted to read it before the television show came out because I'm a really big fan of Reese Witherspoon and Kerry Washington, so I was super excited about the show. So I read the book and I loved the book so much. I loved the writing. The writing was incredible. I loved the mystery. It was very engaging. All the characters were done really well, and I loved the social commentary, political commentary. It was just done, like, it was just excellent. I loved everything about it. Yeah, and I definitely want to read more of her works. I understand why this book has all the hype because it deserves it. It was excellent. But the show, on the other hand, I watched the first episode and I couldn't do it. It's filmed like your typical cable show and I just don't like it. I was expecting it to be more like Big Little Lies, but it wasn't. Big Little Lies is amazing. It's filmed so well, but this one, so yeah, but I did love the book. Okay, so coming in at number 6 is My Sister the Serial Killer by Elia Karen Breathwaite. I love this book so much. This was amazing. So this is exactly what it says. It's about a girl whose sister is a serial killer and she has to help her clean up her messes, and she's kind of battling with why does she keep helping her sister and all this stuff, and it was just so good. I love the writing style. It's told in little vignettes, but they are done so well. Like, I could picture everything. I felt the mood. Like, you could get a sense of every character. Every character felt so real. The setting felt so real. I just loved it all. You could get the tension. And yeah, I don't really understand how people say it's not a thriller, because I was on the edge of my seat. Like the scene where the police were coming in and they had to go like try to clean evidence. I was on the edge of my seat and you didn't know if she was going to tell on her sister or what. I love this book so much. I will read more of her. I know that she has recently come out with a bunch of short stories, so I need to go read those, because like one of my favorite aspects was the writing. Like, I just don't know how you can have a chapter this big but like tell so much and picture so much in my head. So I thought it was excellent. Definitely one of my favorites of the year. All right, so coming in at number 5, we have Long Bright River by Liz Moore. I thought this was so good and definitely needs more hype and people talking about this and reading this book. It was done so well. So this is a more like literary crime novel, and you're following a woman who is on the hunt for her sister. She is a police officer and she cannot find her sister, and her sister is an addict and is set in Philadelphia. And yeah, it's really, really good. So not only is the writing incredible, but it's definitely more of a more subtle crime story, just like her other work. She had another book come out that was called The Unseen World, and that was also like a mystery, but it was very subtle and quiet. And this is the same way. It's very subtle, quiet, but you still have the thrilling aspects. You're still trying to figure out like this crime that's going on, but it's really more about the sister relationship. So much commentary on the opiate crisis in America, and I thought it was done super well. You could tell she did a lot of research. Yeah, it's just excellent. I really enjoyed Liz Moore's writing, and I'll probably read whatever else she comes out with, because I really loved her previous book. I love this one, and yes, so number 5. All right, so coming in at number 4 is The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. I just love this book. I just thought it was so smart and so brilliant, and it was just so engaging, even though it was like a super chunky book. I loved everything that he put into this, and all the little twists and turns and all the rules and all the different characters that he came up with. And yeah, I just thought it was excellent. So this is a murder mystery, and you're following a man who wakes up in different bodies, and he has no memory of who he was before he came to this manor, and he is tasked to solving the murder of Evelyn Hardcastle. I mean, I don't really have anything else to say about this. I just thought it was done so well. I loved it. I loved all the little rules that the author came up with, and I just thought it was brilliant and super smart. So he did this really, really well, and I definitely will be picking up his newest release, because I think it's similar, also about a murder mystery. So yes, if you have not yet picked this up, I definitely recommend it. All right, so number 3 was actually an audio book. I only listened to one and a half audiobooks. I DNF one of them, but the one book that I listened to, 100% one of my favorites. It was so good, and it was An Astronaut's Guide to Life on Earth by Colonel Chris Hadfield. I love this book so much. I do have a physical copy, but it's somewhere in storage, so super happy I have a physical copy because I love this book so much. So this is basically him just telling his life story of why he wanted to become an astronaut, all the steps he took to become an astronaut, what he had to do, and then him training and actually going into space and doing all his spacewalks, the special like steps he had to take because he's Canadian, and to be in NASA is like even harder. So I love this book. I love anything that has to do with space, astronauts, all of that. So this was like right up my alley. Oh my gosh, it was just so interesting. He gave you so much cool science stuff. It was amazing. He talked about space medicine, so I just loved it. I definitely geeked out super hard on this. I like wanted to get in my car just so I could listen to it and to him. And yes, I would definitely listen to this again. It was that good. I definitely recommend it. It was excellent for sure, with top 3 definitely. All right, so for my number 2, this is the one that I couldn't decide which book goes ahead of either, because they're both excellent, but they're both really different. So I'm sure you guys probably already know. So it is a tie between These Violent Delights by Micah Nummervier and The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. I know I talk about these books a lot, but they were just incredible. So because this one is a African inspired fantasy and this one is an literary fiction, dark academia, they're just so completely different. I can't pick which one is better because I like them for different reasons. So this one I just love because I love Tao. I love the world that Evan Winter built, and yeah, I just thought it was so action-packed and engaging, and it just kind of like blew my mind. It was incredible. And this one also had really great characters, but the writing style was amazing, and it was just so dark and smart and just so messed up, but so good. Yeah, I don't know. I can't pick between which one should go. So both of these are my number 2. If you like literary fiction, definitely recommend this, especially if you like getting into like the psyche of characters. Definitely recommend this one. And if you're looking for your next high fantasy, you haven't checked out The Rage of Dragons, definitely do this one. So both of these are tied at number 2. All right guys, so as for my number 1, all of you already know it. Nothing was able to beat it out. I love this book so much. That is Black Leopard, Red Wolf by Marlon James. This is definitely my favorite book of the year. The minute I finished it, I said it was my favorite book, and nothing has beat it yet. Just loved this so much. It was so strange and weird. The writing is out there. It took me a minute to get into it and to get used to his writing style. I literally had no idea what was happening for the first 50 pages, but the more I read, the more I got used to it, and then I just like slowly fell in love with Tracker, who's the main character in this, and you're just going along in his adventures. He's tasked with finding this boy, and you meet many different characters along the way, weird creatures and different worlds and cities, and they're all so strange. I don't know how Marlon James came up with all this, but it was brilliant. Like, brilliant. I loved it so much. And yeah, I want to read more of Marlon James. I cannot wait for the sequel. I will try to reread it. I mean, it's like a task. It was a task to read this book. It is more on the difficult side, but it was definitely worth it, and I loved it so much. It's definitely not for everyone. It's very violent and graphic, but it was incredible. I loved it so much. Yes, so this is my number 1 favorite book of 2020. None of you guys are surprised. All right guys, so here are some of the top 10 books of 2020. Some of them I can't find. One of them was an audiobook, but here are all the best books from this year. Probably from 4 till 9. You could like interchange them. It was really hard to rank them. So one wasn't necessarily better than the other. I just kind of put it in order, except for like my top 4 books. So yes, these are my top 10. What do you guys think? Have you read any of these? Let me know. Let me know what your favorite book of the year was. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Bye.